Welcome to Product Rising. I'm Elizabeth Ames, the executive producer of Product Rising and the former CEO of Women in Product. At Product Rising, we focus on providing meaningful information and insightful conversations about how to succeed in product and advance your career. If you find this information helpful, please follow us and recommend us to others. For more information about Women in Product, please visit womenpm.org or join our community. Links are provided in the show notes. Today's episode is the fifth interview in our series, The Visibility Equation. This series was created and is hosted by Surbhi Gupta. With nearly 2 decades of experience driving product innovation across big tech and startups, Surbhi brings a wonderful blend of strategy, clarity, and human-centered leadership to this series. Our guest in this episode is Marilee Nika. Marilee is a product leader at Google. She is also the founder of AI Product Academy, an innovative organization with multiple learning modules for certification in AI product management on Maven. Her courses have been taken by over 8,000 students and counting. She's also been a keynote speaker at TED AI and numerous TEDx events. Marilee holds a Ph.D. in computer science from Imperial College, London. And with that, I'll turn it over to Surbhi and Marilee.
Hey, Marilee. Welcome to the podcast. Nice to have you here.
Yeah, thank you so much. So excited to be here.
Awesome. Marilee has combined deep technical expertise with storytelling and advocacy, showing what it looks like to use visibility, not only to grow the career, but also to lift others up. Let's get started by knowing what's visibility question in your words, Marilee.
Yes, what a good question. Visibility is how clearly our work, our impact, our leadership are being recognized by our teams, by our peers, by the wider organization that you may be working on. And it's not just about being seen, it's about ensuring that the value you add is acknowledged and understood. And it took me a very long time to realize that this is a skill and just how crucial this skill is for your career and for you personally as a whole.
You really touch upon a great point because many seasoned professionals, especially women, they are doing all the hard work, but they're not super intentional about creating visibility. Tell me more about your story. When did you realize and how did you crack it?
Yes, very good question. First of all, I have to start by saying that I was extremely shy and extremely anxious when it came to giving talks. Okay, so I just want to put this out there. I think it was around COVID when we were stuck at home and, this app Clubhouse came out.
Yeah.
And people started creating kind of these channels about what was of interest to them. And I joined some product management group. And then I realized, oh, wait, there are things that I can say in this group. I started to raise my hand and, it felt like safe because, there was no camera. It wasn't like a stage. It was just unmuting and speaking on the phone. And then more and more people started joining these groups. And it became a thing where every single day we would come in, talk, we got followers and followers. And then after Clubhouse, people started sprinkling into, the other platforms like, LinkedIn. And then I realized, you know what? I have so many thoughts around AI and product management, which is my niche. I might as well just start talking about my learnings and insights on LinkedIn. And then without having any expectations, I started growing an audience. And, I became a creator without thinking that I could ever be a creator, if that makes sense. And after this, the next step was, okay, let me try to put together a course with all these things to kind of structure it a bit and have more intimate conversations and, AMAs, etc. And yeah, like 5-6 years later, it's been a wonderful journey. I've founded an academy where I teach AI product management. I post content on LinkedIn, on Substack, and all that is outside of my day job. That's kind of the interesting part. Anyway, I'm gonna stop here.
That's awesome. Maybe you shared that visibility means that your work is being recognized. So Was your journey more from outside talking in Clubhouse and having followers on LinkedIn, or also with your peers at your work, with your maybe at your university?
Yeah, very good question. So there are different dimensions in my head about visibility. Number one is, technical visibility, meaning what is your expertise in? And, how do you demonstrate that internally in your company through product reviews and, mentoring and talks you give internally, trainings, etc. And I did a lot of that. So I have a specific niche in what I do within my company. So I really, started talking about my work more. And there's something called the tiara syndrome, which means you think that if you do a lot of work, very, very hard work, one day someone's going to come and give you a tiara, but that's not how life works, right? You need to do the work and at the same time advocate for your work and show people what you've been building. Even if it's not working out, even if it's very early on, it's so important to just talk and share everything we're doing with, our peers, but also with leadership, right? So being recognized by leadership as someone who empowers teams, removes blockers, aligns stakeholders, and fosters that kind of XFN collaboration is so, so, so important. And the more I started doing that and the more feedback I was getting that, hey, this is good. I started doing it more and more. So that's kind of, and I do think it's part of a core product management skill to have being able to influence without the authority of managing other people. So yeah.
Yeah, that's so valid. Yeah, I think it's about taking risk, a calculated risk, I would say. So what's the most significant risk that you took and how did it pay off, especially towards building visibility? Maybe you were not a perfectionist, different folks had different stories. I would love to hear your story.
I think I was in my early 20s and it was 2000, when was it? 2014. And I saw a call for speakers by a TEDx event. And I was just, a student at the time, and I just came up with an idea and I submitted kind of this talk idea. And, I totally forgot I had done it. And then, people came back to me and said, hey, sure, your idea is great. Let's flesh it out together. And I gave a TEDx talk in my
Awesome.
20s. I was not realizing how much outside of my depth I was until I was on stage and I could see kind of, thousands of people under there. And I was in my jeans and my Converse shoes. And I kind of told my story and it was kind of this wonderful moment. So I think that was the first time where I really said, okay, I am going to aim high and, let's see what happens. And this wonderful thing happened for me.
This is awesome and so inspiring. So after that, after many years, you were a TEDx speaker. I'm guessing it was in an in-person event, as you said. Then during pandemic, you took it again to Clubhouse. In between, sounds like there was a period where you were kind of little contemplating about all this.
Yeah, I've always liked, to speak and create community and connect, with other people. But I was always very shy and anxious at the same time. And consciously, I've been trying to battle how anxious I am. So it paid off to kind of keep pushing myself and trying out different things and getting myself into very difficult situations because, you end up being okay at the end of the day. And it's so impactful that it was totally worth it, the effort.
Yeah, these are golden words. You actually end up being okay, and that's what matters.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we attach sometimes very high stakes to situations, even if the outcome is not perfect, but it's always like a journey. So thinking from that perspective and taking the pressure off helps.
Yeah, absolutely. I am an extreme extrovert to the point that, my husband actually is an introvert, and it's kind of an amazing contrast. So if we go through a very stressful situation, what I need to do is sit and just talk to many people about it and say, hey, you can't believe what just happened. Whereas he's more like, I need time and quiet to kind of process everything. So, and I've always been like that.
Okay, cool. You are an extrovert, but still any learnings because you have interacted with so many other folks and throughout your journey, any suggestions especially for women and Aries, like how can they come out of their comfort zone? Maybe if they're not introvert or extrovert, irrespective of that,
Yeah.
how can someone come out of their comfort zone and just show up like you did?
Through baby steps, meaning you don't have to think about, oh God, I'm going to have like thousands of followers and what am I going to say? And are people going to like my content? Just do it for you. I truly, genuinely learn by distilling information and writing. So choose a topic you're interested in and then scan through different sources and write down what stood out to you the most. Take it, mold it a bit, add in your insight, and just make a post and have no expectation. Just do it because that helps you learn. And then you will see that the more you do that, people will start liking it, people will start sharing it, people will start commenting and reaching out. And that will feed in and encourage you at the same time. So, yeah, just start by doing and forgetting the negative thoughts around, oh God, what if people don't like it? And does this resonate with people? It's not about other people, it's about you. And that's the best advice I have.
Yeah, I love it. And this way, somebody can build visibility authentically versus doing it, trying to mold it. I totally resonate with that. It's also an inspiration why visibility matters because it requires effort, writing or showing up. So, is there some story or something from your career where you actually felt that building this all content directly opened a new door for you, whether a role, a speaking opportunity, or a bigger recognition?
Yeah, I think for every single thing you want to do, for example, you want to become an advisor at a startup. Sure, you have the expertise, but do you have the credibility? So if there's a startup, let's say, and you want to become an advisor, the first thing people will do is literally look you up, see if you're a thought leader, see if there are other people talking about you, if you have any reviews on the things you're offering. So that credibility element, I think it's so important. Number one. Number two, it really helped me network because I got invited to all these conferences. There were a few I had never heard about before. There were a few where I got invited to be on panels and speak or judge hackathons, and the other panelists or people just coming up to me in events were just these wonderful people that now are part of my network, and everyone is doing their own amazing thing in a different part of the world. And the world is our oyster. There's just so much opportunity out there, and it's been an incredible journey that has really changed my life. Just how many people I got to meet and how the quality of these people.
Yeah, that's inspiring. When people are working in these big tech roles, they're generally quite satisfied with the work. How does having these networking connections or all these external opportunities actually bring satisfaction or something tangible in the long run? Because, yeah, sometimes people want to speak up and initially it feels good. And then it's like, oh my God, it's becoming too much. I'm always overwhelmed with so much speaking, traveling. It comes with effort, right? But I just want to inspire our listeners based on your journey, how it actually in long term also brings a value.
To me, it's all about getting different perspectives. So if there's something I'm working on at work, even if it's confidential or not, right? And I can get the perspective of someone that's outside of my work or someone that's literally just a consumer or someone that, has read, a paper that I haven't and could really be, kind of, change the direction of what it is I'm doing. So it's super, super helpful. And then number two, this opportunity that you get by, having visibility and meeting people and going to conferences and traveling and all these things teaches you another core skill, which is hustling and being able to context switch very easily. So there are days where, I'm at work and then I need to be on the panel and then I have a product review and then I'm going to give a training and, it's back to back. So I think that skill about hustling and being able to context switch instantly almost is so important. And especially for us product managers, where Our work is highly cross-functional. We talk with every different function in the company. It's just so important to foster and cultivate it.
Love it. The way I feel, I used to do a lot of these things because it brings me energy. In work, certain things are uplifting, but some are just like, monotonous part of things. But doing these things whenever I could, maybe it's a weekend talk, or I used to teach at product school at that time. I lost my voice once teaching, but it was energizing because I learned that I naturally enjoy talking to people and trying to learn as I'm teaching, and it sometimes opens my understanding to a deeper level when people ask you certain questions. And it's fun. Yeah. What could be a better definition of fun when you're growing at the same time? So that's what I'm getting from you as well, that it elevates your own skill set also. So very good motivation for anyone to pursue.
Yeah, absolutely. And not just that, like through it and through the courses I teach, now I have the ability to not just meet people on my own, but connect people with each other. So I have a platform and I run my courses and I have a Slack community and people get to connect with each other, form partnerships and friendships and form startups together and all these things. So it's nice to, in a way, give it back to the community. Um and the other thing, we live in kind of difficult times with all the layoffs and everything that has been going on. And having kind of that visibility outside of work is so important because that one is gonna last no matter what happens at work. And I've seen so many people that have built their brands, let's say, really benefit and have a safety net in a way.
Yeah, that is so important. Well said. What myths about getting noticed in tech do you think need to be debunked?
Yeah, that's a very good question. What myths should we debunk when it comes to getting noticed? Well, there's kind of things you may hear about people like, oh, this person is full of themselves, or oh, this person always wants the attention, or oh, this person influences and is not an operator. And it's kind of all these things. So let's unpack them all. Number one, perception that someone is full of themselves if they want to get noticed. As long as the quality of what people say or the products they demonstrate in their reviews or the reviews are getting performance reviews are solid, then I think that we should not even be thinking about this about people. I was in a situation where someone said this about someone else and they were completely shut down by the group because they said it in a group setting. So number one, we should not assume anything when someone really hustles and gets out of their way to help. Number two, trying to get noticed does not mean you want attention. Trying to get noticed means, hey, I literally need to tell you about what I'm doing because you knowing this is really going to give me very crucial feedback and is really going to help me evolve my product in a specific way. So it's so, so important to get your attention here. Number three, and most importantly, we live in a time where the product management role is evolving, meaning a part of the PM role needs to be about advocacy. So there's no longer the pure influencer or the pure operator. To me, you gotta influence as an operator. And I've been in VP reviews and discussions where everyone's really talking about this, that it's just so important to advocate and showcase our work. So that is a myth that you should do one or the other.
Yeah, very well said. Because it's about influence. As I was going back to this building their energy, when going back to your first point as well, I think both are related because some folks might have this thing because the person is an influencer or doing some more things beyond their core thing, then they may not be able to do the justice with their work. But I think sometimes it brings energy to me and I'm able to do more at my work because otherwise I'm like tired. I also need to think out of the box and get inspired and motivated. And, I think interesting ideas come to me when I'm just unplugged from my day-to-day routine.
Yeah. It's like, doing a hackathon where They just pull you out from your day to day and say, hey, clean slate. What are you going to create?
Yeah, it's like going on a walk for your mind.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, okay. Marilee, you have a substantial LinkedIn followers, I think 113K plus, and you post often. What role did LinkedIn play in building your public leadership versus in-person talks, workshops, podcasts, etc.?
LinkedIn is so important because it's aligned with the way I like to express myself and I like to write. So writing and documenting and creating graphs and lessons is how I learn. And it happens to be perfectly aligned with LinkedIn. So Twitter is great, but it's short form and I have so much to say that I don't think it's enough, if that makes sense. So um and it played a very significant role because people got to read my thoughts and insights and get to interact. And most specifically, you can have interactions and you can exchange the perspectives that I was telling you about. So, and there are tools like, LinkedIn can help you schedule the posts that you're going to do. And it really helps creators just push content out and do it in a way that can be effective.
How long was your journey on starting this and where you are today?
Is how I learn. And it happens to be perfectly aligned with LinkedIn. So Twitter is great, but it's short form and I have so much to say that I don't think it's enough, if that makes sense. So um and it played a very significant role because people got to read my thoughts and insights and get to interact. And most specifically, you can have interactions and you can exchange the perspectives that I was telling you about. So, and there are tools like, LinkedIn can help you schedule the posts that you're going to do. And it really helps creators just push content out and do it in a way that can be effective. I think a couple of years, something like that. Yeah. But again, I didn't do it to increase followers. I did it for me because I just liked learning and sharing my learnings by writing it. Kind of like a notebook that's public to everyone in a way.
I love that. So you do it like every day, every week? How often is your writing practice?
I like to do it once a week and then schedule them out. And it's funny because sometimes I forget what goes out when. And I start getting kind of comments and likes, and I need to read again what I post and say, okay, this is about that specific thing.
So you're like a batch writer, like a lot, and then
Yeah, because you need to get in the mood. Also, I have 3 kids, and it's not easy to take break from 3 kids in order to do this.
okay, wow, that's balancing a lot. If you could go back and give your younger self advice on visibility, what would it be?
I would really push myself to get into uncomfortable situations more often because they unlock that shyness and it ends up being kind of fading out in the back of your head eventually. But if you don't force yourself to get in these situations, it kind of stays there and it's there loud and clear. So I think I avoided so many situations in the past, like 10 years ago, and I should not have.
What someone is very satisfied in life, both professionally and otherwise, and they're like, hey, why I need to be visible? I'm happy in my, like little shell. Anything to inspire such persona.
And that's totally okay. And in every job, you can have kind of the extreme extrovert and extreme introvert. But I do find that in product management, it does help to have visibility because it helps your product. For example, you may have 2 teams working on the exact same thing. And, if you are not visible about, what you're building and the features you're thinking about building, then you may end up replicating work other people do and ending up wasting money, time, effort, versus creating synergies that may come out from visibility. So it's going to help the career, but it's totally okay not to do any of that. And it also largely depends on the job, I think, the job family.
Yeah, I think you were touching upon certain orgs, especially like in one of my previous orgs, in Amazon, I felt like sometimes I used to hear from other teams that it's because the nature of the work is sometimes very, very secretive, so people wouldn't know. So then being visible helps. But otherwise, in general, that's more like internal visibility you're talking about, right? Talking about your work, and also it helps with your own performance, reviews, and everything. So there are lots of benefits to reap.
Yeah.
Externally, going externally is like, then it has to be a passion, right?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Or tied to passion.
Yeah, it's not for everyone.
Not for everyone. Makes sense. Yeah.
That's right. Exactly.
Or tied to passion. Okay, Marilee, you're also an author and an educator. What motivated you to write the book? Because that's very different step to take the whole course on visibility. And when did you do that?
Yes, very good question. So I told you that I started teaching about the domain and niche I'm in. And after a point, people wanted more content that was in written form. And I started writing and giving them, documents and frameworks. And then I realized it'd be so much easier to just hand out, like a handout. And then someone said, well, why don't you make an actual book? And I was kind of surprised. I said, "Oh wait, this I can write a book. Wait, how does that even work?" And I asked around, and some people talked to me about self-publishing versus going with a publisher that you respect. And I started kind of going down that rabbit hole and investigating kind of what that looks like. And my favorite publisher that taught me how to code really is O'Reilly. And I reached out to them, and they were interested in this. And a year later, we were able to publish this book, and it became a #1 bestseller for a few days. But it was just an incredible journey, and I'm actually writing a second one now. So I'm excited to, be an author. I think I found my calling. I enjoyed doing this.
Such an inspiring story. I had one question on the book. I just want to inspire audience. So you said you already had visibility across LinkedIn, and so you had credibility. Then you reached a cold call to the publisher, and they kind of went ahead and did that. I'm getting
Yes.
how
And
it's
you don't need to be, anyone famous or anything like that. As long as you have an interesting topic and niche that you find, people will consider publishing you. So, but I have so many people that decided to self-publish for various reasons. But I preferred going with a publisher, and but yeah, it's personal choice, I think.
yeah. So Marilee, how do you manage all of these in a week? How do you create time?
I block certain times from my calendar, like 8 to 9 a.m., after school drop off, and then 4 to 5 or 4 to 6 p.m. to do my focus time on this sort of thing. And sometimes I do it like that every day. Sometimes I do it in chunks, like on a Sunday. Sometimes, I'm on a trip and I have my laptop and I realize, oh God, I have an idea. I need to write this down. So you need to make it a part of your lifestyle. It's not a 9 to 5 thing. And that's why I say you really need to be passionate about it, so that you can, keep doing it. It needs to be a part of your life.
So Marilee, tell me more about your course.
Yes. So I have created the bootcamp. It's an AI product management bootcamp. It's a 6-week program. It's the #1 product management course on the platform called Maven. And people get 3 certifications. They learn how to build a product end to end by an engineer that's assigned to them. And I'm leveraging a specific tool in order to do this that is just phenomenal. So, I'm happy to talk to people about it. And if I also host private trainings, and yeah, I'd love to send a curriculum and show people the impact that this has had.
Okay, interesting. So Marilee, how did you choose to build a course in your journey for building visibility? Or these are, you would say, are the outcomes of building credibility, visibility?
Oh, that came before. I've been teaching for many years in universities here and there. And after COVID, I decided that, I could do it virtually. So my MVP was going on Eventbrite and creating a little kind of landing page for this course. And it was just phenomenal to me how, it got sold out in, a day. I mean, it was like a 3-hour thing. But I realized, oh God, this is an incredible. So I treated this as a product, and it's, my product journey in creating a course about products. But yeah, it's been fantastic, and it's outside of the kind of visibility side of things.
Any lessons in this journey? You must have had a lot of learnings in the path of writing the book, launching a course. What are certain things that we can share with our listeners who might be super motivated now to either write a book, launch a course, or sign up on LinkedIn?
And I'm happy to talk to anyone that might be interested for this and help. I think you really need to find your niche and the topic that you personally care about and know deeply and care deeply. And then after you do that, just think about what's missing out there and start discovering your niche. That's what helped me. And then do a lot of UXR. So I talk to people, I say, hey, would you be interested in that? What do you think is missing? What would you appreciate? What wouldn't you? So that's what really helped me. And yeah, the courses took off, and I've had, I think, 15,000 students at this point. It's been a wonderful journey.
Not just now a side thing. It's not just a hustle.
No, it's not. It's wonderful. I'm very fortunate.
So what's next for Marilee? What's coming next other than the book?
Other than the book, yeah, there's a book. There's a brand new course that I'm building with someone that I've partnered with, and I just can't wait to bring it to the world. And yeah, join me on LinkedIn and find out more.
Sure. Any last words of wisdom to folks on doing so many things, and any tips from your journey?
Yeah, just start by building, start by doing. There's no perfect time. The perfect time is now. The market is not too saturated. Just do it for you, and then just see where this journey will take you.
Did you take any mentoring? Did you had any friends who guided you along, or was it like all on self autopilot? Take steps.
I think it was mostly self-autopilot, but I did have people really encourage and support me when I just didn't know whether it made sense or not. So I did have the mentorship and encouragement that was so crucial and important.
Is there any framework here to go in this journey successfully, or any lessons from any of the failures if you had faced?
Things might get worse before they get better. So it can take real time to find your product market fit, let's say, and just keep at it. Things will get there, and create partnerships, reach out to people for support, and yeah, just keep doing it. As long as you have the passion, it is going to work out.
Very motivating.
Yeah.
So where can listeners follow you? You have so many different channels. Any preferred channel?
I think LinkedIn and my newsletter on Substack, marilee.substack.com, is the best way to move forward.
You have spoken at various conferences, events. What you did that did a 10x, 100x increase in your credibility, visibility? I'm just sharing with our listeners from your journey some of these landmarks in your journey that would you like to touch upon?
Yeah, I did a podcast with Lenny. So Lenny's podcast really helped. Like I was at work and people would walk up to me and say, "Hey, I just watched this and that was so interesting." And I think that was one of my highlights.
So if I have to share one thing about visibility that people can start doing from today, you have shared like take baby steps, don't be shy. But what is like your core mantra that you would want somebody to remember, if nothing else, and start doing it right now?
Just raise your hand in the meeting. Raise your hand, unmute, speak up, share your perspective, share your opinion. Don't wait. Don't think that, oh God, maybe my opinion is not good enough, or it's not mature enough, or be intimidated by the audience in any way. Just speak up and go for it.
Just be more of a yes person.
Just get in. Exactly.
Even if it's not the perfect, just show up. Awesome. This has been so nice. Thank you for next day.
Thank you so much for having me. I think this is great, and I love talking about this journey, hoping to inspire more people.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. This podcast is an original production of Women in Product. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or the Women in Product YouTube channel. Leave us a review so that others can discover us, or share this episode with others. Original music provided by Jimmy Hahn.